Hey everyone, and welcome to the Alpha 56 update. This is X of April 2021 is the expected release date. It's March 29th today, so roughly give or take the next 30 days within the next 30 days. But it's already been addressed by Cold Games himself that the structural integrity will not be included in Alpha 56. But there has been a lot of changes to this, and really excited. The big one, of course, is going to be the lever action rifle, or the LA rifle. It's a new high tier rifle that can be crafted at the workbench. It uses 7.62, the same as the regular rifle, but deals slightly more damage. It has a slower fire rate due to the lever itself between shots, so it's more powerful, a more powerful and cost-effective weapon, so long as the shots are accurate. So really excited about that. Now there are two different types of ammo that this uses, but we will go over the second one a little further down. But yep, here's just kind of an idea. I've added stats for the LA in the player stats view. Okay, so yeah, when you go to your little stats tab, you get to see how many things you've killed with said rifle right here. These are the materials for it. This is compared to the double barrel. It takes 1 additional plank, 100 additional power, and 10 additional mass. But other than that, 5 ingots and 20 weapon parts. It's almost the same as the double barrel, just a little more expensive. And then there's a video that I had linked on one of my older videos that you can watch it. I might click on that towards the end. I just don't want to leave this page yet, so I can give you that link if you wanted to see the lever action, the LA rifle. We're going to call it the LA rifle. In action. Yeah, there we go. All right, that works. Moonlit nights and moon cycles. I've finally taken some time to work on the nighttime visuals and added a dynamic moon cycle. This isn't a total nerf to the darkness of nights. The moon moves through its own cycles, currently set to 8 days, and the light emitted is dedicated to its fullness, so there will be still many near pitch black nights. So yeah, definitely around the full moons when you're going to get the most out of it. But that's so cool. I mean, you can see it in the daytime too. It is also tied in with the weather system, such that if the skies are overcast, this will deprive players of brighter lit moony nights. I've considered trying it with moon or months seasons also, but given the adjustable nature of the seasons, I thought it'd be best to leave it as a separate system. It makes sense, because if you got 12 days per year, then yeah, that's a lot of information to have to go through. Physics-based destruction. All right, as we mentioned, the structural integrity will not be included in Alpha 56. I'll show you real quick. This is Subsistence structural integrity updated today, uploaded today from Cold Games, saying this is a dev build not yet finished and not enabled for the Alpha 56 update, which is currently in testing on the experimental branch. So coming from CG's website or YouTube page, there's the note saying will not be for the Alpha 56 update. So unfortunately on that, that's a thing, but that's a game-changing aspect to it, which is going to take a lot of time. So by all means, take your time with that. This one's pretty cool, the Aurora Borealis, Northern Lights. Sometimes during clear nights, the northern lights will be visible and lit up in the sky. This is not something that will happen every night, and the intensity will vary across nights when they are visible. So just a very cool visual at nighttime. You're looking outside, you wait for the daytime, just something to look at, and that's, especially on a full moon like this showing here, that would be awesome. As with the moonlight, storm fronts will obscure their visibility, and their intensity will be muted by overcast skies. I think this adds some cool diversity to the world over the passing of time. It makes sense. Very cool to see that. Just a visual aspect on that. Let's see. Overall, there's a big performance change. This deals with a lot of lights and big bases, if you have big bases that you're not really doing anything with. So what it's going to do is I have made some substantial performances. The screenshots below show a benchmark of these changes comparing rendering seen from Alpha 55 to 56. I will explain the technical changes below for those that are interested. I don't know much of the technical stuff, but it deals with a lot of lightings that you might have in your bases, and it deals with the needs of the bases that aren't being used. Like, let's say you've got 5 plant beds in another base that's not being used. The CPU on your CPU is still rendering, or it's still processing information from that other base on what items are needed every frame rate. And when you've got those more and more stacking up with additional bases, it slows down and lags the system. So this is a way of kind of putting to sleep bases that you're not using, and it does something with the light density or individual light sources. I'm going to just read this. One of the most expensive performance costs are individual light sources. So if you want to read more on that one, please pause the video, and I'll scroll down here a little bit. So go ahead and pause it here. And here. All right, and just a little bit down here. But I'm not too familiar with this stuff, but that's great to see a better performance issue, because as things more get added to it, it's going to slow down the system, so it's great. Plaid shirt. This is an interesting one. A new clothing item that can be crafted from the default player crafting menu. This shirt is an alternative to the existing high-tier t-shirt. So the heavy t-shirt, the heavy-duty t-shirt that costs 5 padded cloth, 18 iron fragments, and 1 rope, and you needed the medium shirt as well to upgrade. This costs the exact same thing. So you were eventually going to need 2 medium shirts to be able to craft one of these and one of the heavy-duty shirts. However, its properties are slightly different, whereby it offers slightly more warmth at the penalty of slight less damage protection. So it is a good option for early spring and late fall. And they've got a personal clothing model that's been changed, so now you can see sleeves. So you got the padded, or the plaid shirt, winter jacket, hunter jacket, and the sweater. So really, really cool to see this, because it does add more in depth to the game. I mean, you're wearing a coat and you got short sleeves on, or you have no, you have nothing over your arm. So this is definitely a really, really cool thing to see with that. Multiplayer exploits fixed. So it looks like with BCU crackers, it looks like there was an exploit where you could BCU crack another player's base even though the base damage was disabled. So that's been fixed. Speed hack prevention's been fixed. A fly hack exploit patch has been fixed. And like I said, this is all based off of multiplayer, dealing with servers and the other thing. Lands, I guess it would be. But this is a cool one. Phosphate ore and phosphorus. There's now a new ore type that can be found while exploring the cave systems. So the ore is somewhat rare and can be processed into the phosphorus in the refinery. Each piece of ore yields 3 phosphorus once processed. And the reason why, I don't want to go too far, but you can see here, you got the refinery, 1 ore, 3 phosphorus. And the reason being, this beautiful thing right here. The Incinerary, I call it the Incinerary, but it's like in these, whatever. It's a rifle round that adds fire damage. So phosphorus can be used to craft the rifle rounds. These can only be used with the LA rifle. So you press left alt to switch between ammo types. The rounds deal the same initial damage as the regular rounds. However, will catch the target on fire for around 10 seconds, dealing continuous damage over time. Jumping into the water will extinguish the fire. So, amazing. I wonder how much light it's going to give off if you get attacked by like 3 hunters and you shoot all of them with fire, and they've got the 10 seconds, up to 10 seconds for fire damage. How much light does that bring around them? Because I need to see all the hunters, but this is a great way of tracking where those hunters are late at night if you can't see them. That sounds like so much fun. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. So you got, there's a new thing for shift right clicking to split stacked items. When splitting stacks, rather than having to right click on the item, you can now simply hold the shift key, or whatever you have bound to your sprint, and right click to split singles into another stack. So you don't have to right click, go split 1, split half, split 10, or whatever it was. You just shift click and right click and yeah, it's instant half. Fixed incorrect warmth percent. Clients of network games were displaying an incorrect warmth reading near heating sources. So that's really good to see if you're on a multiplayer with a client with a network. Yeah, so it's fixing that issue, which is great. A strength boost, which is really, really, really cool. Strength boosts can now be found under the default medicinal craft menu. These items will increase the player's physical strength by 1.5 times for 3 minutes. This increases the speed of harvesting resources. Trees, ores, etc. Melee damage caused to base items, breaking doors down, and damage done to humans and animals. So you don't have to sit there in front of a 500 hit point door with a pickaxe and hit 2 damage for every swing for a total of 250 swings, taking an entire day if you're by yourself. So excited. Thank you for that, because Molotovs were hard to get and the grenades were just expensive to go after a door that is alpha stage that doesn't have a workbench. You can't utilize stuff in there. Really, really, really cool to see that. I cannot wait to test that. I know an axe does about roughly 16 damage to a wolf. I'm curious now to see how much an axe is going to do to a wolf with the strength boost. So definitely a lot of testing to be done with this. This can be useful for a burst of wood harvesting or breaking into bases. A status icon will display on the right side of the HUD indicating when the boost is active. The damage incurred to the tool will also be increased to match the increased damage dealt. So very, very, very cool. This next one I'm also excited about because I use these in my games. The Adrenaline Boost. Previously, the Adrenaline Boost would simply replenish your stamina, but then, depending on your health stats, would immediately start dropping again. So if you have no protein and you run out of stamina getting chased, you'd use an Adrenaline Boost. It would fill all the way up, but then completely drain again real quick because you have no protein. So it's a little burst of speed. It was nothing major, but it was easy to craft. One biofuel and 1 fish oil. It wasn't that difficult to craft, so I'm glad to see this change, but the change it's done is amazing. So now it is 2 biofuel and 1 medicinal tonic. Now the Adrenaline Boost will provide an unlimited stamina for 3 minutes, regardless of your character's physical condition. A status icon will show on the right when it's active. Pop it, unlimited stamina for 3 minutes. Thank you, CG. Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much, man. That's a major, major change with the stamina boost or the Adrenaline Boost, because I use those all the time, and it's so helpful. So there's been some additional in-game tips. It's never been very clear that players can level their max health and stamina over time by eating better quality foods. So he's added in-game stats and tips to help beginners along, and for even experienced players that didn't know a lot of this stuff. He's added an in-game tip to highlight this mechanic for new players. It's also not obvious that players' protein levels drop faster if the player is cold. So I've added a tip to explain this. So now there's another tip adding, when it's cold outside and you start shivering, your protein drops much faster. Players are issued a free heat pack when respawning during the wintertime. However, it wasn't very obvious and often led to a death loop trying to get back to safety. I've added a one-time prompt to highlight this mechanic. So it's going to say, hey, look, you spawned in, it's wintertime, you got a heat pack, use it when you absolutely need to. So that's really cool to see because I forgot about them half the time too. This is a nice little handy one because it was a bit tricky. Filling your canteens and washing hands from the ice holes. You no longer need to jump in to that frigid water to either wash your hands or get water in your canteen. You just simply stand next to it, right-click on the canteen to fill your water, or use the click to use wash your hands. So yeah, you just crouch in front of it, and you can just do it normally. Really, really excited for that one because you'd have to jump in it, which means then you'd have to immediately go by a campfire to get dry, and it was brutal. Let's see, the structural integrity not enabled an update. So yeah, this is still a work in progress. So we're just going to kind of ignore that for now, but there is another video YouTube link. I highly suggest watching these because this is going to be a game changer when it comes to this game. And this is a video, so if you end up watching this video, like I said, at the end of this video, I'm going to click on this to get you the link. Or I might put it at the end of the video. I'll try and do that. Fix the elevator bug. Fixed a bug where the elevator could run off the track and often being lost. Thank goodness I never experienced that, because those things are expensive to craft. And if that would have happened, I would have been mad. So that's really good if you do have an elevator. Now, here's the thing with that SI, as I'm calling it, the structural integrity. The higher you go, the weaker the integrity is. So having an elevator might not be as useful like with 6 stories, because you might not be able to build 6 stories or even want to, depending if the hunters attack the first floor and then just start destroying everything above that because it can't support its weight. So yeah, it's going to be a major balancing issue with the elevator and what wants to be how to craft this elevator and where to utilize it. So that'll be fun to see where YouTubers come into play with this, because it's not going to be a standard going up 6 floors straight up type thing anymore. You're really going to have to protect it and make sure everything around that base is secured. So very big game changer on that SI. But okay, so delay entering world until fully streamed initialized. Previous players would be dropped into the world before it had finished initializing or being fully streamed in from the server. Okay, so if finished initializing is single player and streamed in from the server is multiplayer. This would lead to the player to glitch about geometry that hadn't fully loaded in, and players now get a waiting screen until the world is ready. That's really good, because I did play in a multiplayer server, and when you did log in, you're literally standing, you're hovering because you're on the foundation where you logged out at, but there's nothing under you, nothing around you. It's kind of coming in piece by piece, and you're floating there. And there have been sometimes I've been stuck halfway in the foundation and just got to move it, jump out, and move it back. But that was always a pain logging into those. So that's good to see that fixed. The flashlight battery duration extended. A full battery charge of flashlight attachments now lasts 16 minutes in real world time. It was previously 12. So an additional 4 minutes in real world time. Now, these are where it's going to get a little tricky. For the other notable changes, switch to metallic materials for double barrel shotgun rifle. I have no idea what that means. I've looked around. I can't see what new metallic materials for double barrel shotgun rifle. Lots of miswording going on there, but I've looked around for it. I couldn't find too much of the metallic materials he was talking about. Added weapon handling sounds when raising and lowering weapons to aim down sights. So some added sounds for raising and lowering your weapons. Fixed ice hole clipping bug that could result in falling under the world. Thank goodness for that one. Fixed bugs where players couldn't cancel or exit out of chat while sitting on ground or in a chair. Definitely a multiplayer with that. Fixed fishing line showing at weird angle if starting to fish while in third person view. All right. Fixed character standing at weird angle as switching view while exiting an ice hole. Thanks, Freaky P. Fixed character standing at weird angle if switching view while exiting an ice hole. Okay, I didn't have too many ice holes, so I couldn't play around with that one. Windows will now be destroyed if their wall frames are destroyed. Okay, I've always experienced that one. Maybe there's sometimes there wasn't and it was floating. Now the question I have for this is, what about being moved? I wouldn't think so, because it just clearly says are destroyed. But if you need to remove a curved wall window or a windowed wall and you got a window in there, I'm assuming it's going to stay, but that might be something to keep an eye out for, to test with and play around. Fixed various buildables pitch and roll not replicating the clients of net games. You got me on that one. Let's see. Fixed bugs where 2 weapons should show mount in the workbench, one below the workbench for client net. All right, so yeah, it's definitely a multiplayer thing. I don't know much about those. Fixed animation glitch where players could sit while in a falling state. Fixed chopping bug where players could glitch through geometry while sitting on sofas. You had to go some serious testing to be able to try for this. Fixed clipping bug where players could glitch through geometry while sitting on sofas, sometimes leading to falling to their... Ooh. Inventory item blue highlight flash will now interrupt a previous flash, so feels much more responsive when splitting, transferring items in quick succession. Log files now capture when admins ban. Okay, when the admin bans players. Fixed bugs where dedicated servers get into a restart loop if a machine needs resetting to fix the issue. This was caused by the server attempting to compile shaders, which it never needed anyway. For humans and animals on fire, the fire particle will now remain attached during ragdolling. Okay. You got me on that one because I never threw Molotovs at anything, but with those rifle rounds, it'll be interesting to see. So, yeah, a lot of big changes coming through, mainly with the LA rifle, with the new rounds. You've got the adrenaline boost and the strength boost. You've got correct warmth for multiplayer stuff. But really, really excited about that in this shirt. Really, really excited about this update. So within the next 30 days, it's roughly going to be out and about. So if you did enjoy the episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, thumbs down. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. It is much appreciated. And if you have not, please consider subscribing for more Subsistence content. Have a fantastic day, y'all. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.